Sam Dunn's all-new podcast, Caught in a Rant. Available now, exclusively on Patreon.
Howdy, banger pals. Blayne Smith joining you for another Overkill reviews. This one will come as no surprise. Of course, we're covering one of the biggest, but also one of the newest bands in death metal. Have a listen and maybe cover your eyes. As I mentioned, despite receiving almost immediate recognition, Sanguisugabogg are an extremely new band. The Columbus, Ohio natives only formed in 2019. They released a demo on Maggot Stomp before immediately getting called up to the big leagues to release their debut on Century Media. They're part of sort of an accidental new class of death metal. Between them, Frozen Soul, Undeath, they all sort of formed when we got our last of the Tomb Mold and Blood Incantation rounds of records. And so it kind of feels like a bit of a response. This is a lot more hardcore influenced death metal. And when I say hardcore influenced death metal, I mean they're bringing a punk energy to the music and shows, not a Monster Energy drink new era. It sort of feels like a lowbrow answer to the highbrow death metal scene we have going on there for a little while, and I say that as a fan of both. So, can the cavemen destroy the scientists? Let's find out in the review. Your 100% star of the show here is Cody Davidson. The guy is a complete superstar on the kit and his drums steal the show on absolutely every track on the record. He's able to keep the predominantly mid-tempo groove of the whole thing unique with compelling rhythm choices, like on Testicular Rot. He's able to bring hectic carnage on tracks like Skin Cushion, and he even throws in fun little touches all the time, like the bell hit to close out Face Ripped Off. And then you get a song like Fiending for Bloodshed that closes out the album, where he brings everything together, and I'd absolutely play it for you to show you how fantastic it is, but the album promo was a stream, not a download, so I don't have I can't. Sorry. But wow, we did it. Look at that. A drummer taking the #1 focal point of a review, and it's not for ruining a record. 2023, baby. We finally did it. After all these years of drumming, we did it. We did it.
Thanks. I like to play.
Too bad nobody else showed up for work, am I right? I'm kidding. Sort of. It's weird. I don't dislike anything that happens on this record. There's no bad sounds. There's no embarrassing missteps. But outside of Cody, there's also no attention-stealing wow moments, no solos, no dive bombs, no squeals. It's all blunt bludgeony, no cutty stabby. It's all hammer, no sickle for my comrades out there. This causes everything to blur together, especially as someone that's reviewing a record and you kind of just have to listen to it on loop over and over again. It was very hard to tell when the record was ending, when it was starting. And the only thing that would ever really cause me to kind of perk my head up and go over to the album playing to get the track, to make a note, to say, oh, that's something I should mention on the record, was a cool Cody moment. Did I mention I really like Cody? What I do think the boys do better than maybe anyone else at all is present elements from the most extreme corner of death metal in a way that's much more palatable to a much wider audience of people. There's slam, there's brutal, there's gore grind plasma all over this album, yet it's a lot easier of a ride than anything directly from those genres. Whether it's the minute-and-a-half blast of Hungry for Your Insides to the both frequent but sparing use of pig squeals, like on Lessons of Savagery, but also on a lot of the tracks on the record. It's all enjoyable, and I hate pig squeal. Like, I hate hate pig squeals, and I wouldn't remove them from this record even if I was on the scissor hand section of the work job doing. If I was gonna do a how to get into again for genres like this, they would 100% without question be the band that I would suggest people listen to get into those genres if they were interested in them. Hell, Cody's drum tone kind of starts getting into that extreme death drum tone that I really don't like. And I didn't care. Cody fucking can do no wrong after this record in my heart. So, yeah, that tells you how much they're doing on that end. This is a significantly more mature record, especially lyrically. And while I love seeing bands push themselves and try and be better all the time, especially a band like this who did get catapulted to the top tier almost immediately. It really feels like the mindset is they're not taking it for granted. They want to be that band. They want to live up to that tier and status. It just feels like maybe that pressure in their heads caused them to not think something through, because they lost a bit of their DNA on accident on this record, as opposed to that last record where they're losing their DNA on purpose everywhere. Am I right? Gross joke. Okay, anyways. And again, it's not that they don't succeed. It's just that if you're writing a more mature death metal record, I have to weigh you against mature death metal records. And I don't think mature and immature are as like one's better than the other or one is harder to do. I think they're two just different, equally important categories. Like weight classes in fighting. The fighter at the weight class above you isn't necessarily better. They're just a bigger person. And so when you move up to that new weight class, you've lost some of your tools in your speed and nimbleness, and your punch might not pack the power to make a difference up there. And that feels a bit like what happened because mature bands don't release 30-minute records. Mature bands release 45-minute records. And again, I don't think that plays to this band's strengths. The humor's been removed, and it feels like nothing's really filled that hole. This is going to sound brutal, but it sounds like there's a guitar track missing from the whole record. It really does. It sounds like we've got the bass layer laid down, and we just need some killer guitar work over top of all this to, make that kind of standout difference. And there's little glimpses of it here and there. There's some cool dissonant stuff that happens actually more in the background than on top of everything. But I was missing something. But this is a tough one to score because I do like what's on here a lot. It feels like a fantastic base to build the rest of a great record on top of. It's just the record's out. There's no more building. They cut the ribbon. We went in. There's floors. It's to bring in the classic Blayne food metaphor. The dough is phenomenal. They nailed the tomato sauce, but we're missing toppings. How do you judge that? I mean, it's a good marinara slice, but I don't know a lot of pizza places that are known for the marinara slice. So I guess at the end of the day, happy, not thrilled is 3 out of 5 pizza skulls. But of course, we're not done yet. We've got shoutouts, and while February 3rd is pretty thin, there are 2 fantastic records that really suit with what we're doing here coming out, and February is a fantastic month for releases, so keep an eye out for Metal Monthly because I got some good ones in there for you. Up first, if you're vibing with the metal punk mix and you want to keep that train a-truckin', Coffin nails The Hanged Man. It's an independent release out of Florida. We'll definitely scratch that itch for you, and they mix the metal and the punk in a good way, not the aforementioned way that is we don't talk about. And then also Carl Willits of Bolt Thrower fame is, of course, doing Memoriam these days, and Memoriam has a new record. It's called Rise to Power. It's out on Reaper Entertainment. That's also coming out today. So you've got your more traditional death metal, but still fantastic. So there's 2 records for you to go with the Sanguisugabogg record. And yeah, just what did you think of the record? What are you looking forward to in February? How's your year starting out? Get down in the comments. Let us know. I'll be down there with you. I'll see you down there. I'll see you. Bye. And hey, don't forget, we have a Patreon campaign. We got a bunch of stuff going on over there. You can toss us some bucks to keep all this happening. We do a tip sheet. You can vote on albums we cover. Sam's podcast is up there. All the stuff. So head on over there if you enjoy the content and want to give us bucks. Get it.